Good morning, students and teachers, acting principal, vice principal, Reverend Janet Edmondson. Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, I see you responding. I must first apologize for you not being able to see me. My device is having issues with the camera, so I must apologize for that. I want to now officially call this meeting to order. We know we start at 9 and the agenda seemed very long and persons would want to talk. And then we have the parent consultation at 3 o'clock. So we want to give ourselves time. So we want to go ahead, right? So thank you very much, fifth formers and form teachers, acting principal, vice principal, and Mr. Logan, our guidance counselor, for being with us this morning. Thank you very much. Right? I want to start by a quote by Jackson Brown that says, "Never let the odds keep you from doing what you know in your heart you were meant to do." Right? So despite the odds and the uncertainty of this mode of teaching and learning, you all have in your heart what you are meant to do or to be, and you are meant to be stars, dazzling with your successes and achievements. So do not let the challenges of COVID-19 and this new mode of remote learning, virtual school, make you forget what is in your heart, your potential, your ability to excel, to persevere, to be determined, to be resolute, to be successful, and to accomplish all that is in you already, right? So we're looking forward to you performers going out there, go into your classes, completing your assignment, and make this academic year your best year yet. All right? So we want you to do exceedingly well and never to give up, right? So I'm going to invite we have with us Reverend Janet Edmondson. She's a past student from Morant Bay High School, right? She's also a past teacher. She taught there for over 20 years, very good at accounts. She got at CSEC level many times, 100% pass with her students that went up. She's a member of the Methodist Church, which we all know is the founding organization for the Morant Bay High School. And she is also a reverend in the Methodist Church right now. So she's no longer teaching accounts, but she's accounting for souls. And she is going to lead us this morning in a very inspiring devotion and to keep our minds on track as we go through this academic year. Reverend Janet Edmondson, over to you, please.
Thank you so very much, Miss Carleen Grant. I thank you for the invitation to have devotion with our fifth formers this morning. It is indeed a pleasure to be a part of this cohort of students. I know how the fifth form group can be and how the year can go. And so this morning, my theme is more than conquerors, more than conquerors. And so as we prepare our hearts and mind for worship, I invite you to listen to this song. have won the victory. You have won it all for me. Death could not hold you down. You are the reason. Yeah. You're seated in majesty. Yeah. You are the reason. Let's sing together, children. Come on. Will you declare you have won the victory? Come on. The voice of the corporate man sing. Hallelujah. Now you get personal, say, you have won it all for me. Come on, say, death could not hold you. Come on. You are the risen King. And we declare that you're seated in majesty. You Listen, I want you to lift your hands for just a moment. Let's worship God. I want to hear that guitar for just a moment. I just want you to minister. The Bible calls it a solar praise. That praise upon the string instruments is that solar praise. Glory to God. The Bible says that Saul called for David to offer a solar praise. When he was troubled with the Spirit, there are some of you who are troubled in your spirit. But as we worship God in this fashion, God is going to set you free in your spirit. Yeah. And so, yes, we are indeed more than conquerors because Jesus Christ did it all for us. Just a minute. And as I said this morning, our theme is more than conquerors. And it is taken from Romans, the scripture, the text that we're going to read this morning comes to us from Romans 8, reading from verse 35 to 39. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall trouble or hardship or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword? As it is written, for your sake we face death all day long. We are considered as sheep to be slaughtered. No, in all these things, we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, nor neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord. And so let us pray. Eternal God and Heavenly Father, we come together as members of this school, Morant Bay High School, and as members of your family. And so, Lord, we offer you our praise and thanksgiving because of who you are. You are the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. There is none like you, O Lord. None in the entire world. We could search the universe and we would not find anyone like you. You, O Lord, are merciful, and your mercies are new every morning. It is in you, O Lord, that we live, move, and have our being. And it is in your image and likeness that we are made. And so, Lord, help us to hear and receive your holy word, to bring before you all our concerns and our needs, to seek your mercy and forgiveness, and to offer our lives anew to your service. graciously accept us in your Son, Jesus Christ, and pour upon us your abundant blessing to the glory of your name. Amen. So we are focusing on verse 37. We are more than conquerors through him who loved us. To conquer is to be victorious over an adversary. To be more than a conqueror means we not only achieve victory, but we are overwhelmingly victorious. To put it in your layman's term, if, for example, you have a final score in a football game and the score ended in 8-2, we would say that they would have gotten a whopping because the opposition would have put up a fight, but they were no match for those who were victorious. The win was beyond the scope of a regular victory. And so, fifth formers, fifth form is not an easy road. I have journeyed with many students of Morant Bay High School for many years. So I have an idea and I know what I'm talking about. It wasn't easy back then, and it is certainly not easy right now. And so that is why I chose this particular passage, because it is one of the most encouraging and affirming passage in the Bible. You see, to be more than conquerors, it means that we face trials of life, but we face them with the certainty that we are not alone. In verse 35, Paul listed several terrible things that might happen to a person in this life. He writes that in all those things, and those things would be hardship, it would be trouble, it would be exposure, threats, crime, violence, and for us now, the dreaded COVID-19 with all its different strains, Delta and now Mu, which is affecting us. Other hardships now is that persons would have to stay at home, and the way fifth form is so strenuous, it is better that you had face-to-face contact. But we are more than conquerors through Christ who loves us. And so no matter what comes before us right now, you are going to be more than conquerors. And why are you going to be more than conquerors? Because you have a mighty Father who will fight for you. Even when you're approaching the darkest valleys, and you are going to be approaching them, because when the SBAs are to be completed, when assignments are given otherwise, when work is to be completed, when you have to be studying, and remember, it is not just fifth form work that you will be doing now. It is even far as back as third form and fourth form that you have to know the content to go in CXC with. But nothing can happen to you. And I'm telling you this, fifth formers, that nothing can happen to you that is not permitted by our loving Father for our good. We have a promise from him that he will never leave us nor forsake us, and that his presence is with us every day until we meet him face to face. He says no hardship. Paul writes that he's convinced that nothing in creation can separate us from the love of God. And it no matter how sinful we are, it doesn't matter what we have done in the past, God is still with us. God is still able to protect us from all these hardships. There are many illustrations in the Old Testament of God bringing miraculous victory to his people, Israel. And so when we look at Israel compared to the other nations, they were no match for their enemies. But God cautioned them not to be afraid. And just as he cautioned them not to be afraid, he is cautioning you today not to be afraid. It might look like it cannot happen, or it looks as if it is impossible. But know that he will fight your battles for you. Exodus 14 verse 14 says, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. He says, your troubles will not overcome you, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. You know, one instance, an entire army fled their own camp when God caused them to hear the sounds of a great army coming. The Israelites didn't have to do anything because God would have taken care of them. Not only were they saved from an approaching army, but they actually benefited from the threat. They were more than conquerors. And I'm saying to you today that you are more than a conqueror. Yes, the enemy sends all kinds of life-defeating, joy-stealing attacks to threaten your well-being. He will tell you that you can't do it. He will tell you that you are not good enough. He will tell you all sorts of degrading things, right? Those are hardship. Those are the things that Paul wrote about, hardship, persecution. But he's encouraging us to stand firm in our faith when those attacks come, reminding us that not only will we win in the end, but Jesus enables us to win now. The enemy does not have the power because God is the almighty power. God has the power and might over all things. And he says that nothing can separate us from the love of God. Nothing we face worries God in the least because nothing surprises him. Nothing takes him by surprise. And he says that what is impossible for us is possible for him. If we are his children through faith in his son, then we have his pledge of love and protection. Jesus said, my sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me. I give them eternal life and they shall never perish. No one or nothing will snatch them out of my hand. My Father who has given them to me is greater than all. No one can snatch them out of my Father's hand. He's talking to you, my students. He's talking to each and every one of us, teachers. Some of us, we think that, oh, this new way of doing things, oh, it is too much. And yes, it is too much, but we have a God who can strengthen us. We have a God who says nothing is impossible for me. So when we say we are more than conquerors, does it mean that none of these troubles will ever happen to us? Or that we can eliminate them in this life? No, it does not mean that. It means that we can use the word of God to help us overcome. We have a part to play too. And this is a godly principle of faith that when we abide in Christ during the inevitable disasters that flood our lives, our faith increases, trust is amplified, hope is expanded, and our love of Jesus reaches even greater heights. And so, students, I am saying to you, when these trials come upon you, you have the word of God to help you through all of this. And the first one, what I want you to remember, and I want you to tell yourself when you feel weak and that you cannot go on, is that no weapons that formed against you shall prosper. And I want you to say, you don't have to unmute your mic, but I want you to say it, and I want you to believe it with all your heart. Because if you say it and you don't believe it, it does not make any sense. So just say, no weapons that form against me shall prosper. Tell yourself that I am the head and not the tail when you feel like the SBAs are overwhelming you and you're not going to finish. Tell the enemy that the Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. Tell yourself when you don't feel like doing anything else, you can say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Yes, my fifth formers, yes, students, you can overcome. You are more than overcomers. And so, have the right attitude. Think the right thoughts. Because if you think that you're defeated, then guess what? You will be. So use the scriptures and it will strengthen you. Focus today on how big God's love is for you. As you begin to put your focus on God, you will realize that you can get through anything with God on your side. God's truth says you are valuable. His truth says that you are loved. So regardless of what people say or do to you, you can live in freedom. Why? Because you know that God loves you unconditionally. He says nothing on this earth can separate you from his love. And he sees you, most importantly, he sees you as a winner in him. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. And so, boys and girls, I want you to say this prayer. Heavenly Father, praise your wonderful name for this glorious truth that no matter what happens in my life, I am a conqueror through Christ. Help me not only to see this as a future hope, but as a present victory in him today. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I pray that you would have prayed this prayer in spirit and in truth, believe in the words that no matter what happens in your life over the next few months, that you will remember that you are a conqueror through Christ Jesus. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Edmondson. Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. I myself is strengthened by that, because these are really perilous times when the enemy in all forms and shape is running rampant around us. And we are really encouraged this morning. And I know that my fifth formers and my form teachers are energized and ready to embrace this new academic year and to overcome all that will come in our way, because we know that we are conquerors through Christ and that no weapon that form against us shall prosper. Really appreciate it, Reverend Edmondson. Thank you very much for taking the time out to be with us this morning. I know you're very busy and we will talk later. God bless you very, very much. And continue to pray for our year group, our
Yes.
fifth formers. We crave your prayers, and my form teachers as well. Thank you very much, Reverend
Yes.
Edmondson. God
Thank
bless.
you. Thank you. And all the best. I wish you every success, both teachers and students this year.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. So we are moving on now with the agenda. We don't want to stay very long. We want to move quickly. I want to acknowledge in our midst our acting principal, Mrs. Marsha Ford Brown, our vice principal for fourth form, Mrs. Beverly McDermott. Our past student presenters are also in the room, Mrs. Mullins. Thank you very much for being with us. I also want to acknowledge again our hardworking guidance counselor, Mr. Joel Logan, being with us as well. And at this point, I want to introduce our hard-working form teachers for fifth form. They have been with us. Some persons have been with us since first form, and they continue to be with us throughout this time. So, um, I want to welcome Miss for 5M. We have Mrs. Smith Iman. Mrs. Smith Iman, are you in the room? I'm not sure if she was able to enter because the Zoom is now full, but we have Mrs. Smith Iman, and she comes to us because Miss Nortova is no longer with us. That is heartbreaking, but as Miss Edmondson said earlier, we are conquerors, so we will overcome and continue on. 5-0, we have Mrs. Dean Noble. Miss Dean, are you here? Miss Dean? All right, so we have Miss Dean for 5-0. For 5R, we have Miss
Yes, Miss
Watson.
Grant,
Okay, Miss
I'm
Dean, yes,
here.
good morning. Right, so
Good
that is
morning.
Miss Dean, and you would have known her from first form, so she is the form teacher for 5-0. Thank you very much, Miss Dean. We have for 5R, Miss C. Watson. Is Miss Watson here? All right. And for 5A, we have Mr. Bravo. Mr. Bravo, are you here with us?
Yes, Miss. Good morning, everyone. I am here.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Bravo. Thank you very much. For 5N, we have Miss Archer. Miss Archer, are you here?
Good morning.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Archer. And 5T, Miss Simon. Miss Simon, are you here? Okay, so those are form teachers for this academic year. The only addition that you are, and you would have seen Miss Mitaiman throughout your face-to-face time on school, so you
Excuse
would
me,
know her.
Miss Grant.
Yes, Mrs. D. Noble?
Mrs. Harmon is in the Zoom, but she's unable to unmute her mic.
Okay, okay. I apologize. Okay, I don't know what's happening there, but she's with us. All right. And I know that your form teachers will work very hard with you, along with myself, to ensure that you are conquerors and you do well throughout this academic year. Okay, moving along, our acting principal, Mrs. Marsha Ford Bryan. Mrs. Marsha Ford Bryan, over to you, ma'am. She will now address us as fifth formers, senior students. Yes.
Good morning, my fifth formers and the fifth form family. Welcome to the 2021-2022 school year. I am, in fact, elated and energized. And this has really been the energy since we started our orientation Monday of this week. I must say my thank you, even though Reverend Edmondson would have left us, but I must say my thank you to her because those empowering and motivating words are just hitched in our minds, and definitely they will continue to remain there because we will be using them as source of energy and source of power. We will not be defeated. We will not be defeated by challenges because we are overcomers. I would like to use this opportunity to welcome in our midst our acting vice principal, Mrs. McDermott, our hardworking and dedicated year coordinator who has been working with you guys since first form, Ms. Carleen Grant, to our form teachers who continue to give of their best and going beyond the call of duty. I welcome you all and thank you so much for doing what the Lord has directed us to do and to carry out the purpose in molding the minds and the lives of our future generation. I also want to acknowledge our past students who are here with us. And since Monday, we have been having that feel of camaraderie, that feel of collaboration. And I know that today will be no different. I know we have Coombs in the midst and we have Tishana. You know, I can call them by their one-off names because we are long-time Bunononos. So thank you so much for being here. I'm not certain if Bertram is here with us. I also want to extend the welcome to our guidance department, particularly Mr. Joel Logan, who is in fact the one dedicated to the fifth and sixth formers at this time. Hardworking department, reaching out to parents and to students, and definitely they will not cease, but they will continue to carry on all that they need to carry on. So I want to say definitely to my fifth formers this morning, my senior students, you are at the last leg of this race. And I know definitely that many of you are anxious. Some of you might be concerned, but let me not preempt this. I am going to ask my fifth formers at this point to just write one word in the chat that is actually describing how you're feeling this morning. One word quickly, fifth formers. Let's get with it because this is how we need to be moving with the tide as it comes. Oh, I'm seeing Sir Lamy. I am seeing anxious, anxious for the new year. And anxiety can go, oh, I love that next word. That's ready. So you are anxious. You are ready. You are feeling the zeal to move on. Keep them coming. I am seeing nervous. I am seeing motivated, excited. And nervousness is good, hopeful. These are all feelings and emotions that are natural during this time. So there is no need to shelter or to cover how you're feeling. Some persons are feeling scared, some are feeling quite sad. But these are the emotions that are going through not only the minds of our students, but also the minds of adults. I'm seeing productive. I am seeing discombobulated in some regard. I am seeing prepared. Oh my gosh, there are so many mixed emotion, which is very good this morning, which means that some of our fifth formers will have to be your brother's keepers in helping them to get out of some of the emotions. At some point in time, some persons are going to be stronger than others emotionally. And this is why we need to count on each other. And this is why collaboration and communication is so important. This morning, the message to us was we will not be daunted. And so I just want to reiterate that that at Morant Bay High School, we want you to realize that this school year, we are changing the narrative. We are no longer dwelling in the negative, but we are pushing forward the positive. And so we are going to reaffirm ourselves and know that we are the best and know that we can make it and know that we are eagles. And so we don't fly among commoners. We fly and we soar extremely high because we know exactly where we are going. I want you to set your goals at a very high level, performers. At this point, you have to draw on your inner energy and you have to draw on the energies of persons around you. So my suggestion to you this morning is um, surround yourself with persons who can motivate you. Surround yourself with positive images and positive support. Surround yourself even with role models, adults or students alike, but positive role models who can give you that energy to move on. I am not going to tell you that this year is going to be any easier than last year, but what I am saying to you with surety is that this year you will be approaching the school year differently. You will be approaching it with positive attitude and aptitude. This year, we are changing the narrative. I'm telling you for certain, the feeling in the environs is that we have so many partners around us. As I said earlier, we have the Past Student Association, and they have never been more energized than during these couple of months that we are surging together and we are putting the synergy together. We have the Parent Teachers Association who have been on board, but more so this year. Our aim is to ensure that we pool all our resources together to give you all you need to go through your final examinations and be as successful as we know you can be. I am not, and I have never been the one to compare one grade level with another grade level. All I ask of you, performers, my senior students, is to be the best version of you. Don't be anyone else but the best version of you. Each and every one of you are unique. You have a unique gift. You have a unique purpose. And I want you to unearth those purpose. And that is why we are here to assist you to unearth. When you leave Morant Bay High School after doing 2 additional years with us, because I am calling that into being, that every single one of you are going to be successful. So we have to find somewhere to place you in our sixth form program. Having left Morant Bay High School after 2 more years, after you complete your fifth form, you will be leaving us as 21st century citizens ready to take on the world. Every crevice and corner that you go, you will leave that mark. I want you to approach this school year with pride, with much dignity, knowing that you are in the best institution with the most hardworking teachers who will go beyond the call of duty to ensure that you get everything you need to get. Understand that we have teachers in our midst who have influential positions where CXC is concerned, supervisory positions. We mark exams. We know what CXC is requiring. I want you to have the confidence in us that we know exactly what we are doing when we are doing it, because we have been doing it for years. We have 20 odd, 30 odd years of experience in our educators. I must also assure you that our support staff is with you 100%. Right now, we are preparing our school grounds that if they should say school must begin Monday morning, we are ready. This is how alert we are this year to give you all that you need. Now, those persons who said that they were feeling anxious and they were feeling nervous, I'm going to ask you not to keep these feelings to yourself, but avail yourselves to your guidance counselors, to your form teachers, to your year teachers, to us, anybody. We have the listening ear. We want to take you out of the rut and take you to a higher level. So we are hereby asking you, join the new narrative, be positive, know that you have wings that will take you to the highest level. I want to also implore my teachers, don't get daunted because I know that the weather is gonna get rough, but if you need to be motivated, you know the shoulders that you can call upon. You know the phone calls that you can make. Don't stay in your rut by yourself. So this year, we are preaching collaboration, communication, partnership, and positive narrative. I will not go any further because I know that a whole wealth of motivation and empowerment will be coming your way. I just want to say a warm carpe diem welcome to 2021, 2022, the year of decision, the year that will be the best ever in your life. It is what you put in that you will take out. Remember, we are here for you. We are here to make your life easier. God bless you all and welcome, welcome, welcome. Back over to you, Miss Grant.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Ford Bryan. Thank you very much for those encouraging words. Thank you very much. We look forward to this academic year. It's not going to be easy, but God with us, we will overcome. Mrs. McDermott, are you with us?
Yes, I am, Miss Grant.
Okay, over to you, ma'am.
Let me say a pleasant good morning to all those who are in this meet. Let me recognize our acting principal, Mrs. Marsha Ford Bryan, all our teachers who are here, FORB teachers, Ms. Grant, year coordinator. Let me recognize also the past students who are here. Yes, two students that I know very well, two past students, Mrs. Kerry Ann Coombs and Ms. Tashona Mullings, welcome. And of course, to the parents who are listening and to you, the fifth formers. Fifth formers, I want to start by congratulating you. You have reached this far by faith. I know the journey has not been very easy, particularly for the last 2 years, but you have gotten to this point and I want to congratulate you because you are about to enter the pinnacle of your success. You have been having other successes over the years, but this one here for fifth form will get you to the pinnacle. And you know I'm speaking of your 6C exams in particular. Now, I want you not to think so much on what has happened in the past, because some of you, I know you have not been doing so well. I congratulate those who have been working consistently and have been getting good grades. I congratulate you, but some of you know that you have not been doing of your best. And I don't want you to dwell on the past. You have about 10 months in front of you. I want you to make the best of those 10 months. Look at where you are now. Set yourselves goals. And I don't want you to just put down those goals. I want you to define them. If your goal is to pass 8 subjects with 1 at the CXC level, I want you to put that there. Define your goals right now and work towards them. Then I want you to invest of your time. And you will realize that for this year, time is of the essence. Yes, you will have your SBAs to do. You will have to ensure that you study hard. And of course, it will be the year when you will do your CXC examinations. I just want to ask you to believe in yourself. Yes, you can make it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. You can make it. Draw on the characteristics and the resources that you have been drawing on, your determination. And of course, I really welcome Reverend Janet Edmondson's speech, preaching this morning, because I really felt blessed, like I was at church. So your determination, your resilience, and of course, goal-oriented person. Draw on those resources, and I do wish you all the very best. We are going to be working very closely together. Later on, you'll be hearing from me when I'll be giving you advice and information on examination. But until then, I do wish for you all the success. Over to you, Ms. Grant.
Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. McDermott. And as we said earlier, Mrs. McDermott is the vice principal that oversees fifth form. Also, she's the exam coordinator at school, external. So we are going to work very closely with her going forward. And as she pointed out about writing your goals down, I'm going to bring you back to the vision boards you made in second form, where a lot of our goals were written down, placed in our form rooms, and we took them home. So I want you to take them out, dust them off, and look at them, because those are the things you need to remind yourself of and to work towards, because nothing is impossible. Everything is within your reach. So we're moving now to our past student address. Miss Carrie-Ann Coombs and Miss Tishana Mullins, two very vibrant speakers, very active past students. I myself know them from school. We're inviting them now to address our senior students, our fifth formers. Thank you very much, Miss Coombs and Miss Mullins. Over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Miss Coombs?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here in a very, let me see, a situation that I didn't expect to be in, but I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and
Yes, we're
clear.
hearing you.
Are you seeing me?
Yes, I'm seeing you.
Okay. So I'm on the road.
Great.
And Mr. Anderson is also here. Welcome, Mr. Bertram Anderson.
Thank you.
All right. And so we're so happy to be joining you this morning from the Alumni Association and welcome you back to school. So Carrie and I will be having a conversation together and with you. I want you to just type in the chat, MBHS, the best. Just type that, MBHS, the best, just to see that everybody is hearing us loud and clear. All right, Carrie, do you want to lead off? All right. So everybody's hearing us. I love it.
Carrie.
All right. there goes the chat blazing. Okay, lovely. So Kerry and I will be talking together. It's a brand new school year, yes, and we want to make sure that you are making a powerful start, right, Kerry? Can you hear me, Kerry?
You're hearing me?
Yes, man, loud and clear.
Okay, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you too. I'm hearing everyone.
All right, so I'm just saying we want to make sure that our fifth formers are making a strong and powerful start this year. So I'm, just inviting you to share with us in these sentiments.
Okay, everyone, good morning again. I've been blessed to be in this meeting so far because I heard one of my past teachers conducted devotion this morning, and she's now reverend, and I'm so blessed by that message that she brought us about being overcomers. And it's a privilege to share with you all. I greet the acting principal, my friend, Mrs. Ford Brand, and Mrs. McDermott. Would have known me very, very well because I've given Mrs. McDermott some headache throughout high school. And certainly it's a privilege to be here. And I also greet the fifth form coordinator, Miss Grant, who I know very well as well. And the entire fifth form year group, I give you my blessings for the new academic year. To the fifth form group, the students who don't know me, my name is Carrie Ann Coombs. I am a past student, a very proud past student of the Mark Bay High School. I would have been at the institution for 7 years. I did fifth form, went to sixth form, graduated, and went and did my studies. And I'm presently working with the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information in a position that has me working with all the tertiary institutions across Jamaica as team lead for inspection and auditing and so on. So that's just my brief introduction to who I am. I do not want to weigh you down with anything concerning my own professional advancement or anything like that. But I will say to you that a seed has been planted in you because you are part of the MBHS, the Carpe Diem Nation, and in that alone, we know that there is a seed of success that has been planted in you. And as you would have already heard that you are overcomers, I will further share with you that you are now positioned for your purpose. Being fifth formers, there is so much that you are about to achieve, and you're being positioned at this time to achieve this greatness that exists within you. And it's just for you. I heard your coordinator, Miss Grant, saying that you had your vision board from second form. I just want to encourage you to focus on that vision that you had from then, and push yourself with the understanding that not even COVID is going to stop you from achieving your dreams, because you are
there on your phone
for greatness.
Go on
and you
time.
are
Mark High School.
Bertram.
All right, Mr. Anderson.
And you are going to definitely achieve greatness once you stick to it, and you just put your mind to it, knowing that yes, you are definitely overcomers, and you will seize the opportunity. And as I said before, this is Carpe Diem. You are positioned here at a time like this to do extremely well. Right.
Absolutely. And that's so rich that Kerry just said about the Carpe Diem Nation and the Carpe Diem legacy. And I want to say to you, Formers, you are the next set. Well, I saw a 7-year thing came out of the ministry to say you have to be in school for 7 years. But if you do leave Morgan Bay High School after fifth form, then you are the next set that's up next to become a part of the Alumni Association. So we really wanted to take that legacy seriously. I myself as an alumni member, you can see us both proud in our shirts this morning.
Oh, yes,
absolutely.
We're ready to work. Can you imagine? We're in it to work.
Right. So yes, absolutely. So I work outside of the Alumni Association. Believe it or not, we're not full-time the Alumni Association, though it might seem so, because obviously Morant Bay High School has become one of the best alumni associations in Jamaica. Just ask anybody who watches the work of of alumni associations. I'm saying social because I'm a social entrepreneur and I use that word so often every day. So in my work, it's not just about making money, but it's about making impact on the world. And that's how we want to see our Morant Bay High School students leaving. I remember when I was in fourth form, heading into fifth form, and I was thinking, oh my God, it's one more year in high school. What am I going to do when I leave? And I know you may be having those thoughts in your mind, but earlier, and Kerry reiterated it, is for you to return to your vision boards. And I'm so excited that we have such amazing guidance counselors and teachers at Morant Bay High School who's taking you into that space where you're creating your vision boards, you're looking at your careers, and you're going to come out and become excellent members of the Alumni Association as well. And I want you to just make the best of the rest of your high school years. You have either 1 year or 3 more years left, depending on how long you stay in high school. You have a chance now. Make the best of it, right? In our Alumni Association, we look at scholarships, grants, look at your library. When you come back to that library in another 2 to 3 years, you're going to see a high-tech library, and that's the work of your Alumni Association. That's the kind of space we're inviting you into. We also have mentorship programs. We want you to eventually become mentors, even though now you might be assigned a mentee in a couple months, as a mentee a couple months from now. We want to also remind you that, look, we are one family, alumni, association, students, staff, everybody. And we're here for you to lend our support in whatever way we can, especially in such a difficult time in COVID days. So over this
Can I add something?
Yes, absolutely, Kerry.
As Tish really emphasized the importance of the alumni, I want to share with you that as you look into your future, the alumni becomes so important because the level of networking that exists within the body, it really helps you as a student. So on one end, we speak of the scholarships that will be available, but also outside of the opportunities for scholarship, just knowing that you are a member of the alumni, it creates so many opportunities for you, knowing that you are part of the brand, MBHS or Carpe Diem Nation. It really does open many opportunities for you, because I can even relate to something that took place just 2 weeks ago. I heard of a situation, a job vacancy, and my initial thought was somebody who I know actually was from Morant Bay High School. Boom, I made a call, and that call led to another call, and the person actually got the opportunity for the job. And I'm saying this to say that it's not only for job opportunities, but also within the opportunities for furthering your own studies at the tertiary level and so on. We remain solid as an alumni, knowing that we will do all we can to assist you as present students, but in the future for you as well to help other students in time to come. So just remember that we celebrate in the 60, but not just to say, oh, this is a big fanfare, but it's just a reminder of knowing that you are a part of something major. You are a part of something that is not going to end. And as Tish said, you are part of the legacy, the MBHS legacy.
Absolutely. So I just want everybody to go ahead and type in the chat, Carpe Diem Nation, hashtag Carpe Diem Nation, just because I want your fingers to get used to it, because this is something that you're going to be posting a lot on social media, Carpe Diem Nation. And it's the nation that many people wish they could be a part of, like people who wanted to claim Hansu Parchment as he, achieved phenomenal success in the Olympics. Yes, Carpe Diem Nation. And I want you to get used to typing that, because you're going to go to Instagram sometime later. If you're not already there, we are at MBHSAA. We're also on Facebook at MBHS Alumni. We want to see you in those spaces taking charge. It's not for you to just wait until when you leave school to network with us, but we're here for you to network with now. When you wear that green and white, wear it with pride, knowing that you are literally at one of the best high schools in Jamaica, the best high school in Jamaica. I remember doing sixth form interviews because I said I wanted a different environment. And I went to many schools. I went to Wolmer's, I went to Immaculate, I went to St. Hugh's to do interviews for sixth form. And when I remember when I went to a particular school, they said to me, why are you leaving Mart Bay High School? That's like the cream of the crop, basically. You're leaving such a jewel to come to a Kingston school. And I was surprised to hear that Kingston schools were saying, oh, why do you want to come here? And you are going to such a great school. So understand that, you know, you're going to a great school. I know I've said it several times and it sounds like a scratch record, but sometimes when you're in something, you don't realize what you have. All right. So Kerry, we want to ask them 2 questions because there's a 60 for 60 scholarship program and you could very well be lucky to win a prize and see what we're talking about in this Alumni Association in action. So I'm going to ask you 1 question. Kerry's going to ask you 1 question and then there's a prize. So I'm going to ask somebody from staff to collect the names of the winners. So I'm going to ask somebody first to type in the chat, name 2 past principals of the Morant Bay High School. 2 past principals. And Kerry can think about her question. And then after that, we're going to wrap up.
I have my question ready.
All right.
It's a history one.
All
the
right.
Cups, yes. Yes, the winner will get a cup. Yes? Bertha, we don't know what you're saying. You're muted.
One person will get a cup and the other person will get a shirt, one of the 60th anniversary shirt.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Bertram. All right, the first correct answer, if Mr. Logan can help us with capturing which answer was the first correct answer and which student got that answer. Thank you for the correction with the prize, Bertram. So I think we may have a correct answer already. Kerry, go ahead with your question. All right. I don't know if everyone else is hearing Kerry. She's frozen on my end. So Mr. Logan,
I want to know.
Okay, go ahead. All right. I think let's re-admit Kerry from another device. All right, Mr. Logan, if you can just help us to identify the correct answer, I would appreciate that. All right, Kerry Ann is back. Kerry, are you here?
Yes, I'm back. Okay, go ahead with the question.
Somebody was saying something before Kerry goes ahead? No, go ahead, Kerry.
Okay, so my question is, what sporting meet Mart Bay High School is known for? Which sport meet? What's the name of the sport meet that Mart Bay High School is known for? Sport or track?
All right, the chat is blazing. Not the sports activity, Danielle, but the actual meet. So we have Gibson Relays as a response, Howard Jackson Relays. So it's not going to be track and field, or it's not going to be log jump. That's the event. We're talking about the sports meet, right, Kerry? All right. I think we have lost Kerry again, but in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead. She's coming right back. I'm going to go ahead and do my wrap-up statement while we verify the answers in the background, and we'll announce the winners a little bit later. Right? Kerry, are you back with us?
Yes, I'm back with you. So the answer came?
All right, I was going to go ahead and wrap up, but let's just quickly check. We have Gibson Relay, we have Howard Jackson Relays.
Right. So the answer is Howard Jackson Relay.
All right. So the person who said that first, I think, was Danny Edwards. Please back me up on that. And then for the first question, let me see what the answer was.
We can verify later, Tishana.
All right, then, cool. All right, everybody. So let me just wrap up by saying one of my usual mnemonics. You are all stars, and that's a mnemonic for studious, S, studious, T, tenacious, A, ambitious, and resilient. It's COVID times, but we believe if you have carpe diem blood inside of your body, which all of you do, you are able to stay resilient. And let me just leave this term with you that I want you to remember is anti-fragility. So you have fragile where you're weak and easily broken. You have anti-fragile where you're not weak or easily broken. That's even a level up from just be resilient. You actually welcome challenges and look at how you can really grow throughout your challenges. Leaving from RBI school, you're going to be going whether into university or into the work world. You will need that energy so that you can keep the Carpe Diem legacy rich. And that's my closing statement to you, and I'm giving over to Kerry.
I have no other closing statements, and I know you have to move on with your agenda. All I want to say to you is just stay focused. Whatever comes your way, stay focused. Wherever you are from, stay focused. Just remain focused, because this is a very important year in your life that will change your life forever. Remain focused on your goals, and you can do this. You are already overcomers. Claim that, believe it. And as Tish said with the anti-fragility, you know that you can do this. And of course, I'm going to say to you, remember to follow us on our Insta page, because you are part of a huge brand in Jamaica and internationally. Carpe Diem Nation. God bless you all.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your program.
All the best, guys.
Over to you, hostess or host.
Okay, thank you very much. Past students, Mr. Bertram Anderson, Miss Kerry Ann Coombs, and Miss Tishana Mullins for that vibrant presentation, encouraging our performers to carpe diem and to, solidify their position in the Carpe Diem Nation. And I'm going to encourage them, because as a past student of Morant Bay High School who have contributed to the growth and development of the institution, it is also my forte to encourage my performers to be a part of the alumni and to always Carpe Diem and to represent the green and white wherever you go in a positive way. Right? Because once you are from Morant Bay High School, you can only be great at everything that you do. Now we're moving
Ms.
on
Grant,
with...
before you move on, Ms. Grant,
yes, sir.
I wanted to just indicate that, as per usual, we will be selecting the top male and female from this cohort for the STEC examinations. Next year, I usually gets 50,000, top female gets 50,000. So that is still in place. And I hope all of my students will work very hard to ensure that they are the persons to get this $50,000 grant towards their tertiary or sixth form studies.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Anderson. Right, so the competition is on for the top boy and the top girl for the CSEC examination results. $50,000 is there waiting for you for your advancement to tertiary institution or to sixth form. So, and I know that my performers will take up the mantle. They like a challenge and they will work hard to ensure that maybe we might change it so that you do so well that they might have to say, okay, we seem to have two top boys here and two top girls, so we might have to give two persons because you would have done so well. So we're looking forward to that, and I know that you will all overcome and excel and carpe diem. All right, the presenter for the COVID presentation, are you with us? I was trying to get the name of the person, but I was unable to get the name. And I'm looking in the participant for the person, and I'm not seeing. So we might have to move on, and then when the person joins us, we can have them present for the COVID presentation. All right, not seeing that person yet. I'm not sure. Mr. Logan, I want to move right along. Mr. Logan, guidance counselor's address.
Yes, miss. Thank you very much. Good.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm checking if you are hearing me. Please indicate. Are you hearing me? All right. Thank you very much. Now, let me just say welcome, add my welcome to you, fifth formers. We are here at this beginning of another school year. So welcome back. I know some of you are excited. Some of you probably are sad that the summer holidays are over already, not sure what you would have been doing during our last holiday here. But welcome back to another school year. Now I have good news and I have bad news. Which one you want to hear first? Good news or the bad news? All right, so I see bad. All right, so I'll share the bad news first. I usually prefer to hear the bad news first as well. So the bad news that I have is that unfortunately, this school year might be extremely difficult. That's the bad news. So the bad news is that this school year might be extremely difficult. But the good news is that if there is a group of students that will be able to strive and thrive despite the difficulty of this school year, it is this group of students. That's the good news. So the bad news is that this school year might be a difficult one. But the good news is that if there's a group of students that can be successful despite this reality, then it is this group of students that we have in our fifth form year group. Last year, I would have shared with the fifth form group at the time something similar. But guess what you have that they don't have? You have gone through one full year of online school. Remember, it was last year was the first full year of full online learning. But you guys now have this experience that will be an advantage for you. So now you understand the difficulties, you understand the advantage, you understand the fact that you still need to probably wake up the time you'd wake up for regular school. You understand that there will be some time that you'll need to cut out some time for some extra breaks. You understand that mental health and self-care is of utmost importance. We never know that last year, but you have gone through one full year of online education. So now you have this experience to build on. So here's what we are going to do. And I notice I never say you. This we includes every single stakeholder of our institution. So it includes you students, it includes parents, it includes our teachers, our administrators, all our workers at Mark Bay High School. This is what we're going to do. We're going to build on what we would have learned last year, right? So last year, we learned that the students who exerted the greater effort are the students who excelled. That's one thing we learned last year. So that means if it is in your intention to excel and be successful for this school year, effort will be needed because it takes effort to learn in Google Meets. I was with a class, a fifth form class last year while they were in the computer lab. And I was sharing with one of the students that I am so happy that I did not have to learn over Zoom or Google Meets because I don't know what would have happened for my education. Because at times and for certain subjects, it can be difficult. But there are a lot of your colleagues and classmates who are striving and thriving despite this. And I extend that to every single student in this year group. Because now, as I said before, you know what it takes. So effort, we talk about effort. You know that if you want to be successful, it will take effort. So it will take you fighting to get up out of the bed from 6:30 or 7 o'clock, even though you are already in your classroom, right? It will take you fighting. And if you need to go outside and get some fresh air or skip a couple of times or walk around the house a couple of times to get the oxygen and the blood flowing through the body so you can start your day the right way, it will take that amount of effort. It takes the effort knowing that you have SBAs and you don't want them to pile up. So the ones that you have to get at now, as soon as the teacher gives them out, you get at them. It takes effort knowing that when you have your WhatsApp group with your friends, instead of talking about whatever mobile games or video games or sharing memes and funny videos or whatever the case is, you'll use the group. If you're not studying together or you're not giving each other SBA assistance and that kind of thing, you'll use it productively and constructively. That will take effort. It will take effort to know that you have to balance your academics with your co-curricular involvement, because even though there is a worldwide pandemic going on, the world is still sitting and waiting. The big bad world, as I often call it, is still sitting and waiting for well-rounded students to come out, to go to university, to be employed, to go to colleges. The world is still waiting. So the world still doesn't only want the brightest of the brightest, or the most accomplished or qualified as it relates to your CSEC passes. But the world is still waiting for the students who are well-rounded and involved in their school and community, their school community and their community and church community and all of that. So it will take effort to know that you still have to balance your academic success and your co-curricular involvement. Now, as we touch on co-curricular involvement, there are a number of activities and projects that will come from the guidance and counseling department for this school year, right? Some of them have been advertised already. We know about the leadership positions. We know about the student council. We know about peer counselors. You would have seen and heard about our school magazine, the MBHS Perspective, and there are a lot of other projects. So as you see them advertised, please go ahead and get involved, right? The student council president, I'm hoping, will come from this year group. So when the time comes for you to apply and for you to run your election campaign, I hope that we will have persons from this year group who are willing. For the past how long have I been here? 4 to 5 years. And even prior to that, the student council has been run by capable individuals, great student leaders. So I expect that trend to continue, right? And a number of the former presidents and student council representatives who have been a part of the council, they are out there who not employed now, are still in university working on their qualifications. So I expect that trend to continue. Your co-curricular activities are the things that will help you to become well-rounded. So in a couple of years, when you are invited to come back here to speak with the students, you will be as eloquent as Ms. Mullins and Ms. Coombs and Mr. Anderson, right? So this is what we want for you. So as much as we want you to do well academically, we also want for you to be well-rounded and well-developed. There are a number of things happening island-wide. I know we have students who are involved in youth council, youth parliament, and other organizations that are across the island, who are the organizations that are catering for youth development. Get involved with these students. So even if you're not involved at a school level, we want for you to be involved in youth development across the country. So even if you think you're shy now and you're afraid to speak, I'm sure when you get involved with some of these things will build your confidence and build your public speaking ability, so that, as Mr. Lam is saying in the chat, you can be quite verbose and eloquent in your delivery. So I urge you students that that E word, take it with you. Effort, it will require it. But as I said before, I am 100% sure that this current crop of students that we have can do well. For the last exam sitting, and this is nothing new to Morantby High School, right? You've heard of students topping the Caribbean merit list, coming topping subjects nationally. I remember the first time I was asked when I just came here to Morantby High School, a lower sixth former asked me to write a recommendation for him. So naturally, you know, I spoke to him a little bit to get to know him, and I asked for his CSEC qualifications, his passes. Now, as I've shared a number of times, I think I was okay when I was going to high school. I managed. I did fairly okay, or fairly well. So I considered myself to be on the brighter side of things. But when he gave me his CSEC certificate, I almost went through an existential crisis, because I was there for a couple of seconds questioning everything I knew about myself and my academic prowess, because of the quality of passes that he had on his CSEC certificate. And just last year, we had students topping the Caribbean merit list for a number of subjects, coming in the top 5 for a number of subjects, topping the island for a number of subjects. Next year, you are the students who we will be talking about as the ones who are doing these things, but it will not come without effort. Without effort, it cannot and it will not happen. But I'm sure that we have some students in this current fifth form who have that on their mind, and they will work towards it. As I wrap up, I don't know how many of you in the last couple of, was it last month or a couple of weeks ago, when we were in the Olympic season, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the 400-meter race, right? But 400 meter, as a former non-athlete, right? I tried it a couple of years ago. It never worked out so well. But as a former non-athlete, I tried the 400 meter. And when you're running the 400 meter race, it's call it the first 300 meters. You're holding your form and you're doing everything that you have trained to do. You see that last 100 meters in the 400 meter race, that is one of the most excruciating things that you'll go through as an athlete. You are now on that last 100 meter stretch of your journey. Again, I'm not including what seems to be the mandatory sixth form policy that's coming from the ministry. But we are still maintaining that you are on this last 100 meters. Efforts, hard work, drive, determination will get you through. It has gotten a lot of persons before you're through, and it will get a lot of persons after you're through. So I ask of you students, when the going gets tough and the going gets rough, do not lose, just as one athlete is warned not to lose the form, this swinging of the hands and the high knees. I ask that you do not lose your drive and your effort and your determination to make it through. The sleepless nights will come, but keep your mind and your eyes on the prize that you're working towards. The difficult SBAs will come, the difficult exams will come, but I ask of you, keep your eyes and your mind on the prize. I know for a fact, and I'm singing it, and I will continue to sing it throughout the school year, that you can do it. Now, as we go into the school year, there are a number of sessions and presentations that will be organized for you. I ask of you students, when you see them advertised, when you see them, please join and be a part. We will organize for a number of colleges, universities, and different institutions, international university recruiters and recruitment personnel to come and speak with you about these processes. I ask of you, please, we are going to try to start early so that next year, March, April, May, we don't have students who wanted to go to university, but the deadlines are closing, and students who want to apply for scholarships, but they don't know how to apply or where to begin. We're going to go through the school year with a focus on your post-secondary preparation. So that means whatever happens after you leave secondary school or high school. So we're talking about applying for universities, applying for colleges, understanding the process for those persons who want to study overseas. We're looking at scholarship opportunities, writing scholarship essays, the process, all of these things, looking at creating resumes. We are going to go through as best as possible everything, and I say as best as is possible, that you will need to know coming out of high school, right? So I have crafted the name of the curriculum to be Things I Wish I Knew Leaving High School. Because for those of us who are on social media, you can find multiple threads of persons talking about things that they should have learned or they wish they learned in high school that they didn't learn. So we don't want that to be your experience. So when these things are advertised for you to join the 1 hour Zoom sessions or join the presentations and so on, I can assure you I will not be running behind you 100% of the time to say, come on and join, come on and join, come on and join. But when you see them advertised, please make yourself available to be a part of these things. I'm looking forward to a productive school year. I am quite excited. I call it my blind optimism that I get every single September. No matter how difficult the previous year was, when September come around, it's like is a new page is opened in Google Docs, right? So I have my blind optimism. I am ready to go. I just hope that you are able to join me and work with me and work with us as a school on this journey. Thank you very much, students. I look forward to a great, productive year with all of you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Logan. And I'm also looking forward to working with you, Mr. Logan. I really enjoy working with you, and just listening to you presenting. I myself is excited for the new school year, and I like your enthusiasm. I like the way you interact with the students and how you look out for their interest. And that's right up my alley. And I'm looking forward to working with you and to making this year, exceptional for these performers as they go forward. They have been guinea pigs in a lot of areas, especially for their options, remotely done, one whole full year of online school and so on and going forward. But as we are trying to reassure you that you are not alone, right? And it's not by a mistake that Miss Edmondson had that strong word for you this morning, because we want to encourage you for you to understand that all things are possible, and we are here to work with you and to help you. And there are going to be a lot of presentations, motivational talks, a lot of things to try to keep you focused and on the ball to ensure that you get that scholarship that Mr. Anderson, the alumni, has, and that you also, the acting principal said earlier that she doesn't compare, but we're not comparing, but we're challenging you to do better than the year before you, right? So you're going to top the merit list for subjects in the Caribbean and in Jamaica and so on, because I know you can do it. I know you have that ability to do it. And I'm looking forward to you not just excelling academically, but also to be a part of those clubs and societies on your timetable, so that you enrich that social part of your being as well as we go forward. All right, so I am supposed to talk to you now, and I'm not going to go very long because you are accustomed to hearing me, and you're going to hear me even more this year. So I am not going to make it very long this morning, but I want to let you know that we are here for you, and that, as usual, I always say to you that you're all stars, right? And I expect you to continue to dazzle with your successes, and that you continue to excel and to exceed even your own expectations, right? And I'm going to invite you again to go back to your vision board that you made at second form. I hope you didn't destroy them. I did say to you at that time that you need to keep them throughout, right? And to look back to see what you're achieving and to tweet accordingly. And for those persons who hadn't made it, I'm going to encourage you to do so, because the Bible speaks to writing it down. So write it down so that you know what your purpose is and what you're working towards, right? So I am going to quickly look at how we performed last year on the Google Classroom, in the remote setting, in online teaching and learning with all of those challenges, right? And we're going to look at, I have it outlined like that up there, but I also have a little table right here with the boys, and this is for the Christmas term. For the Christmas term, between 0 and 39 average, we had 39 boys and 26 girls, right? For the 40 to 54, we had 19 boys and 27 girls, right? For the 55 to 74, and you know that the school pass mark is 75, right? And once you get over that, you know you're in good stead. 35 boys and 55 to 74, we have 57 girls, right? As usual, the girls seem to be doing better than the boys, and we're challenging the boys this year to change that, turn that around, right? 75 to 84, we have 6 boys in the same percentage range. We have 19 girls, and we had 4 persons with an average of 85 and over, 1 boy, and we have
still seeing the agenda.
3 girls. Oh, you're still seeing the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me stop sharing that and then go share this. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Logan.
Yes, miss.
All right. Okay. Let's go back. All right. Let me go to sharing. Okay. All right. Are you seeing it now?
Yes, miss.
Okay, very good. All right. So let me go again. So we're looking at how we performed last Christmas term, right? And I did say that we have the boys 0 to 39%, right? The average, right? There we have 39 boys, that's against 26 girls, 19 boys, 27 girls, right? 35 boys, 57 girls. We have 6 boys and we have 19 girls. Then we have 1 boy with 85 to 100%, and we have 3 girls in that area, right? We didn't do very badly going on. So we go now to there's a little graph right there to show you a little bit. The blue is for the boys and this color here is for the girls, just to show you, right? So when it comes to the 55 and over, we have the girls who seem to doing better than the boys. But as we say, we're going to change that around. For the summer, now we have the boys 0 to 39. We have more boys now getting the last time we had 39. Now we have 55 of them. We also had more girls. We had 26 girls in the Christmas term and 41 now in the summer term. Then between 40 to 54, we had 19. Then we have 25 for the boys. We had 27 for the girls. Then we have 36. So there was a little increase right there, right? For 55 and over, we had some declining numbers, 17 girls, 17 boys, and 46 girls as against 57 for the Christmas term. And we between the 75 and 84, we had 3 boys and 6 girls. So the number of persons making the average decline during the summer term, and then we only have 3 girls with a percentage of 85 and over, right? Again, we have the chart with the girls doing better in all the areas, right, of importance, 55 to 100. For those that brown look there, the girls are doing better than the boys, and we have a lot of the boys there in the 39% right there, and the 40 to 54. And we always say, if students just do a little better right here in the 40 to 54 average range, we'll have more students here in the 55 to 74 and over. But I'm confident that our fifth formers will do better going forward. Now, the number of students who attained an average of 55 and over, we have 103 girls and we have 52 boys, right? On the honor roll, we have 30 girls and we have 10 boys, right? And overall, we had, right, 155 students making an average of 55 and over, right? Which is 67.4% of the fourth formers getting an average of 55 and over for the academic year, right? 2021, right? And I'm challenging us to bring that up into the 80s, because I'm sure we can have our students getting 80% of the fifth formers getting 55 and over for their averages. So for those persons who fall in the 40 to 54, I'm going to challenge you for your mid-year, because that's the final time you're going to get to have a report with an average and a percentage. Because after that, your next report card will be your CSEC results, right? Even though you'll have a report card with some letter grades on it, but you will not be able, your next sitting of exam will be the CSEC exam. But your final exam, internal exam, is going to be during this term in December. So I'm challenging you, those persons in the 40 to 50% range, to bring it up to 55 and over. And my friends in the 30 to 39, you can get up there too, right? So it's just a matter of understanding that you're overcomers, and within you already lies that greatness to make you excel and to exceed beyond your wildest dreams, right? So we go with the top boys. So we have two top boys, Romar, and this is the two averages. The average for mid-year and the average for end of year added and divided by 2, right? And this is what we have. Romar Bryan with 84.7%, and we have Shana Wright with 82.3. And for the girls, we have Rowana Samuels with 87.3, and we have Danny Edwards with 85.6. So for this last academic year, we have Rowana Samuels who had the highest average, right, for that academic year, followed by Danny Edwards and Romar Bryan and Shana Wright. So that's how we are stacking up right now. So I am really looking forward, because if they can get it, right, for those persons who 155 persons who got an average of 55% and over, and we have 75 other persons right there who fall below that in total when we combined the mid-year and the end of year, I am sure that we will be able to do better this year and so get up to the 80% that we're challenging ourselves to achieve. So as I said earlier, 67.4% of our fifth formers, now fifth formers, fourth formers then, got an average of 55% and over. And for those of you who made the average, clap yourselves. Just say, I made it in the chat. Just put, I made it in the chat, because you should have been able to look at your reports, right? So I am encouraging you, the other persons, to work harder, right? To push yourself some more. This time is going to come up, recommendation is going to come up. Now it's a time when your parents will have to pay for your examinations. Mrs. McDermott will speak more on that later on and so on. As I said, I'm not going to say much because I don't want to bore you. You're going to hear a lot from me during the year, during those devotion times and other times that we're going to have, right? To encourage you and to talk to you. We have a lot of things planned, online activities, along with myself and the guidance department. working in tandem to make this year as productive as we can make it, and to ensure that you can be the best version of yourself, the best person that you can be, that you shine, that star that is within you, that you unearth it and you dazzle everyone with your successes as we go forward as a year group, right? And I hope you're encouraged because, you know, with the online school and with all the challenges of internet and devices and electricity and so on, right? I am really heartened that we were able to do as well as we did, right? Even though that there were others who didn't do as well as we expected. There are some persons who didn't log on as they ought to. We're going to encourage you because at this point you should have personal responsibility at that point where you are mature enough that if your mother is not there or your father or your guardian to say get online, that you know that in order to be a success, I need my academics, I need to do well, I need to try my best. In fact, I'm not saying to you that I want you to climb this mountain and be on the top of it. All I'm asking you to do is your best. Just give it your best. Carpe diem. Seize the opportunity and give it your best, because I guarantee that if you give it your best, you will never fail. Your average will always be 55 and over. It's when you settle for mediocrity, when you get lazy, as Mr. Logan said, don't want to get up, don't want to log on for school, you want to play games, you want to sleep later in your bed, that you fall short. But if you get up and say, it is a school day today, and I am going to give it my best shot. I am going to ensure that I end this day learning something new academically in my classes. I'm going to do my SBAs. I'm going to submit my assignments. I am going to work with my study timetable, and I'm going to be the best that I can be. That you will indeed make the school average and do well when you get to CSEC. I am challenging you fourth formers, fifth formers, to ensure that you put forward your best this term going into this academic year, because you all have it within you to do extremely well. As usual, we go to the form list. You remain in the same form, right? You have been together now for 3 years, from third form to fourth form to fifth form. You remain in the same form. As we said earlier, the only thing is change is that some persons have a new form teacher in the form of Mrs. Smith-Iman for 5M, but you're working together. There are about 5 of our students who will not move up with us. They are repeating for various circumstances, not that they don't have the ability, but circumstances mitigated against them doing as well as they ought to have done. So they're given an opportunity to really, really exceed and to unearth their true potential academically. So we have those persons going forward. With regards to your timetable, right? Your form teachers would have shared that with you. And you also know that you go with a timetable based on the group. So if you are doing maths in group 4, when you see group 4, you go for your math class. If you are doing English, you know, we all do English in group 1 together. If you are doing biology in group 8, you know, when it's group 8 time, you go to your biology class. And of course, we're still using, right? Even when we go face to face, I understand it will be, right, the mixed modality where you will find that you will be doing both online and face to face. So we're starting now with the online, the Google Classroom, same thing. You have your email address, your password. You should be seeing the invites for your classes if you have new teachers. If not, you should still see those classes in your Google Classroom, right? And for those persons who have new teachers, you might see a change right there. Feel free, you know the email address. You reach out to your form teachers. You reach out to me if you have any difficulties. You also reach out to the guidance department, and Mrs. McDermott, the acting principal, Mrs. Ford Bryan, whomever, to ensure that you are not left behind. Remember our motto in our year group, no one left behind. So we are working together to ensure that we all shine and do the best that we can. It's online school. Make use of, those YouTube videos that will enhance your learning and so on. Use the resources well that you find online. Do not just use the time to be idle and just to scroll on Facebook and on Instagram. Yes, go on Facebook for the Morant Bay High School alumni. Yes, get together on that. Go on Instagram for hashtag Carbet DM Nation. Be a part of that, right? And go on YouTube to find videos to enhance your learning, to reinforce what you are doing, and not just to waste time and to idle and to get into problems. All right. So I'm encouraging you. As I said, I'm not going to say much. I'm not going to go very long because I plan to go with you form by form and to be very intimate in this time so that we ensure that you really, really unearth that potential and be the stars that you all are and dazzle with your successes. Mrs. McDermott, are you with us? Because Mrs. McDermott is now going to talk more on external exams, CSEC. All right, performers, I'm going to encourage you at this point, if you didn't have a pen and paper out, that you get one right now. Get your pen and paper because this is pertinent information that you need to record, right? We always say when we have these things, you need to write down things when you're here. So if for some reason you weren't writing already, you need to make sure that you're writing now. Thank you, Mrs. McDermott. Over to you.
Thank you very much again, Ms. Grant. Now, students of fifth form, let me first of all congratulate your top boys and your top girls. Top boy, Romar Bryan and Shamar Wright, a job well done. Continue. Top girls, Rashina and Danae, job well done, and continue the good work. Now for all those of you who got the 55% and over average, I commend you, but I know you are going to work harder. Because if we translate that 75, if we translate that 55 into CXC mark scheme, you might be at 3s or 2s. And as I always say, at Morant Bay High School, we don't grow forest. So we don't like the 3s. We want you to convert those into 2s and preferably 1s. All right, so just up your game a bit and I'm sure you will be ready. For those who are 75, I understand, with the average who are under 55, don't give up hope. I want to bring you back to a year I had in 2010. And when they did the fourth form examination, we were really disappointed because that was a group that worked well. But for that year, the fourth form exam grades were poor. And the students were told, just as Ms. Grant is telling you here now, and we worked with the students. And for that year, for the first time, they worked so hard that Morant Bay High School was placed 10th among all the high schools in Jamaica. So don't let this result here define you. As I said, don't look so much on the past except to say you are going to be doing better. Move forward. All right? Give it your best, as others have been saying. You had challenges last year with the online schooling, but as was mentioned by Mr. Logan and Ms. Brandt, you basically are used to some of those challenges. You know how to overcome them. And we are going to be asking that you build on that so that this year can be better. I was really, really so looking forward to see you people back at school face to face. But nonetheless, we are happy for this opportunity and don't make any excuse. Even with the online, you can make it. Your top boys, your top girls are showing you that you can make it. And those who have been getting the 55 and over, they are showing those of you who have not been working hard enough that you can get your grades online. So let me just encourage you to do your best. Okay, now for the exams. Now, when I mention SBA, I know that you are used to that. By now, you would have started your SBAs, I know. And I really hope that you are taking it serious. Performers, take your SBA serious. Don't sit there and wait until when you come to school face to face to be doing or to be continuing. Do whatever you can do online. I know that it is sort of difficult for some of the practical areas, but even so, prepare yourselves. Watch your videos, whatever demonstration the teachers would have done. And of course, if you are able to do your practice at home, do that. Don't sit there and wait and say, when I come back to school, get your SBAs done. Whatever part of it you can, get it done. I must mention that when we had face-to-face for the 5th form last year, there were some of them who did just that, put down the SBAs waiting. And there was one boy in particular that we really felt sad for because it was as if he never did any SBA. He ended up not submitting maybe about 5 SBAs. And I want to let you know, students, that if you don't submit your SBAs, it doesn't matter how well you study, it doesn't matter how well you go to the exam and perform, you don't have a chance. Once your teacher enters no SBA for you, the system marks you as being ungraded. So make sure the SBAs are done. And not just done, make sure that they are done properly. It is good that you are having this opportunity to be able to do a part of your exam over a period of time, because that's exactly what the SBA is. It will contribute a part of your examination percentage. Different groups, of course, different subjects, the contribution differs for the different subjects. So some will be 20%, 30%, 40%, up to 60%. So by now, I'm sure your teachers would have said to you what percentage of your grade, the examination, the SB, what percentage of the examination your SBA accounts for. But whatever it is, I am going to ask you to work hard at it. Try and get 100% for the SBA, and it is possible. So many students have done that. They have gone into the exam with that 100% for SBA, and they do their very best in the exam to get the balance of the mark, or as much as possible of the balance of that mark. So I am going to stress it. I can't stress it enough, students. The SBA is important. Get it done and get it off your head. Try and work on it from early. If you do that, you send it to your teachers, you'll get your feedback, and then you can improve and you can improve. And of course, until you get the very best of grades. All right, so please work hard at the SBA. Now, in doing your SBA, I'm going to encourage you to ensure that the work that you do is your work. Your work. Yes, you will use other person's work as a guide, but do not copy people's work. Now, I need you to know that if you do so, you will be getting 0 if and when you are found out. If there's a little time left and you can do over the SBA, then it might be considered, but if so, you'll be getting 0. Plagiarism is a very serious offense. For those of you who might not be sure what I'm talking about, it is the taking of someone else's words and ideas and letting them seem as if it is your own. You have not credited them for it. I know that your teachers have been talking to you about crediting your sources. And whatever format you use, be it APA or whatever format, please ensure that you credit persons for their work. It is tantamount to stealing. So please make sure that you do that. I know that by now you would have gotten pictures and whatever you need for your portfolios, for your journals. And I know that you're well on the way with the research. And I know that the projects are on their way also. And you have planned your presentations and where you have to design and compose. I know you are on your way for that. Please note that by February, which is not very far away, end of January, February, your SBAs must be on the system. And I'm not talking about Morant Bay High School system. I'm talking about CXC system, the ORS system. And what they do is that they have a time when they open the system and they say, teachers, put on your grades. And then they close. Now, please note, I know that maybe some of us teachers have spoiled you in that when we make a deadline and you come after the deadline, we accept you. Please note that CXC deadline is CXC deadline. So don't expect that the teachers, you're going to come late and the teachers will be able to put in a grade for you. We have to observe their deadlines. So I'm not saying to give your teachers by February. I'm saying February, everything must be ready so that the grades can be placed on the system. So you have just a short window. Get to it now, students. Work at it. All right, now, let me just give you a little idea of the process that you'll be going through. Now, as soon as we start next week, we want to ensure that your teachers have your correct spelling of names, your date of birth is correct, and they will be compiling a table with your names, surname, your Christian name, your middle name, all of those names, and of course your date of birth in specific order, and your gender. That we refer to as your personal data. Now, I know that you know how your names are spelled, but sometimes you look, and because you don't look so carefully, you don't recognize that there are errors. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes it's the E before the I, or the I before the E, or AE, whatever. What I'm going to ask you to do, students, is to learn to pay attention to details. When you are told, check your names, go letter by letter. In fact, spell it like when you just learn to spell your name. Go slowly and call out the letters, because one slight error is going to cost you and cost your parents. And we know money is hard to come by these days. So look carefully when you are asked to check your details. Now you will also be asked to check your subjects. And I want you to do so carefully, because have a list of the subjects you are doing. And for those who have options like religious education, Christianity, or maybe art and design, you do have the options. Make sure you have them correct. Oh, and I cannot leave out the TD. Make sure you have the correct options, and you are going to be checking carefully for these. Now you need to check for these because you need to realize that if you do not check and ensure that the correct subjects are there, or that subjects are missing and report this, you will have to pay. And I'm talking about big money. Now, our headquarters, CXC headquarters is in Barbados. And the Bajan dollar is pinned to the US dollar. And of course, the Bajan dollar is strong, unlike our Jamaican dollar that is so weak. So when we do the calculations, it does add up to a lot of money. And I will tell you that when I say last, I mean last school year, which is still 2021, students who paid to change subjects paid in excess of $21,000. I mean, one subject, whether you add it or you change it, $21,000. So when we give you the opportunity and we say check for your subjects, ensure that you check. Because then when we say check, it means that from the very early stage, you will not pay. And then later on when we say, this is the first attempt, check. And when you check, you'll pay a small fee, what they call a little monkey money. But if you wait until late, students, you are going to be paying $100 US, $2,250 for registration fee for CXC. And then you will have to pay the subject fee of $3,880. So I don't want anybody here to be caught in that trap. Students, check your details. Pay attention to details. Just as I talk it now, let it ring in your ears so that whenever you are told to check, you will remember to pay attention to details. All right? So I should mention that for the matter of plagiarism, you are going to be asked to sign a form, both you and your parents, so that nobody can say they did not hear of it, they don't know of it. All right, because it is very serious. So the process goes like this. You are going to be recommended to do the subject. Now, your teacher's not recommending you. You would have already recommended yourselves. And for those of you who have not been working hard, I don't know if there might be a little window between when you return to school and end of September when we need that information to put it online. So if you have been working consistently, your teachers would have said, yes, you will do the subject. I need you to know that this is based on your performance in the subject, but not only that, your attitude. Teachers will have to work closely with you. And I do not want any of you, well, I know that you're well-behaved students, performers, but I don't want anybody to be disrespectful to any of the teachers, because it is difficult to be working closely with a student who you know is disrespectful towards you. So I am going to be asking performance, but remember also attitude is very important. And when I speak of attitude, I mean your attitude towards the subject. Yes, you can. Yes, it is going to be difficult. I really sympathize with you, you know, performers. But of course, I always say, don't let this be any excuse. Don't let it be an excuse. You can overcome and you can do your best. Even though there was a limitation of you not being at school last school year for the entire year. And I know particularly for those who are doing practical subjects, I know of the difficulty of it. But we are willing to work with you. And I say we, I mean your teachers. I see teachers go the distance. I see they go beyond the call of duty just to ensure that students are prepared for the exams and that they do their best in their SBAs. And I really commend the teachers. And I'm only going to ask that you work with your teachers. And if you're having difficulties, Mr. Logan would have said it. Mr. Logan, as you know, is the guidance counselor for this year. And it has been said, let us know of it. Let Mr. Logan know of your difficulties, not at the point of exam, not at the point when you don't hand in your SBAs. Let us know of the difficulties you are experiencing from now so that we can assist you. All right, so that will be the recommendation. Now, after you are recommended, you will receive a form, and that form will contain the subjects that you are recommended for. It will contain a breakdown of the fees for the subjects, and it will have at the bottom the subsidy that you have received, and then it will have the total amount that you will pay. All right, so you will receive that form. When you get that, it is to be checked by both you and your parents or your guardian. All right, so please ensure that they have a part in it. It's a partnership. You, Morant Bay High School, and your teachers, your parents. Don't leave your parents out of it. I know at this stage, some of you say, oh, you're grown, you're big, you can make decisions for yourselves and on your own. Yes, we welcome that. But of course, at this stage, it's a partnership. Make sure that your parents or your guardian, whichever it is, has a say as well. Parents and guardian, they are to have a say in this matter. So don't go ahead and fill out and leave them out of it. Now, as soon as you have received that form, there'll be a small window for you to pay. And the window this year is going to be even smaller. I am still waiting to get the fees from CXC for the 2021 to 22. They have not yet released that. So I cannot say to you this morning how much you will pay, but in a little while, I will give you last year's fee. And judging from the fact that the dollar keeps climbing, our Jamaican dollar keeps climbing, you will be required to pay a little more. But this will at least give you an idea of how much you need to put aside. All right, so you have received, let's say then you have gotten the recommendation, you have gotten your sheets with your breakdown. You also will be told how to make the payments. All right, there will be an opportunity for you to pay online as well as at school, or voucher to be paid at the bank. Now, I just said that there'll be a short window with the time you get the information and the time you are going to be required to pay it. So I hope that the parents have been saving, and I know that some of you have some savings put aside there so that you can assist your parents and assist yourself. And I know that some of them have been planning for this moment, because this is the moment that you have been looking forward to from your come to school in first form. All right, so, but if there are any difficulties, because I know that some parents have lost their jobs and so on, and they have been living on their savings, and I know it is difficult for some. If there are any difficulties, please speak with the guidance counselors. So when you get that form for the payment, if there are difficulties, encourage your parents to speak with the guidance counselor. All right, so you've gotten that and you have paid your fees. And of course, you are entered in the ORS, the CXC ORS system. Now, once you have been entered in the system, we will generate and print what is called a subject register. That subject register will have your name, your date of birth, your sex, all the subjects you are recommended for. And of course, if you are doing business subject, if you are doing business subjects and you are transferring the grade from one subject to another, you will have transfer and the year of transfer. All right, so you can transfer in the case of the business subject. So if you're doing POB, for example, you know that you are doing one SBA and that SBA will cover the POA that you are also doing. And the OA, no, not the OA, and the econ that you are also doing. If you are doing OA, you have to do SBA for OA. You will not be transferred for the OA. But for the POB, you can transfer that SBA so that you do one SBA for POA, POB, and econ. Now, when that is done on your time, not your timetable, but when you get the subject register, you will see the word transfer. On the transfer, you'll see the year 2022. Yes, because you'll be doing your exam in 2022. All right, so this also will apply for English language and English literature. All right, it can be, the grades can be transferred. So you will check that also, because I am going to say to you students, once we enter that in the ORS system and we send it off to CXC, any change whatsoever, you pay for it. So make sure that you do your check before. All right, now, so you have gotten the subject register. We expect you to check. You will sign, your parents will sign. We are not going to be giving you months to do that, because I must inform you that even now, we have not received the 2021 August exam results as yet. And we are told that that will come sometime in October, maybe about the second week in October. So I suppose CXC is busy. And of course, when they get the information to us, there's going to be a short period of time. So it's not that we want to stress you out when we send it and we say, check and let us know. It's not that we want to stress you out, but of course, we will have to work with their timeline. All right, so you have received the subject register and you have checked and everything is okay. And you have returned it to us, signed by yourself and your parents. We now will send the information off to CXC. Now, when the information is sent off to CXC, there is also another opportunity for you to check. At that point, I am going to be sending out to you where you should go and check to ensure that your information as recorded on the CXC system is correct. Students, even if you check and it was correct on the subject register, go ahead and check online to make sure that everything is okay. You have to take responsibility for your learning. You have to take responsibility for your actions. So please go and check when you are told. Now, having done that, it will be time for your SBAs to go in. That will be the next stage. And as I mentioned before, no SBA means ungraded. And of course, you will not get a grade. Unless, of course, it's like a one-off, like practical, like in the homework subjects where you have the practical. If you are ill for that day or any other unforeseen circumstance, then you can let us know, bring in your doctor's certificate or whatever proof is required. And of course, you will be considered. you'll be considered among other things and be awarded a grade at the end of the examination period. All right, so having sent in your SBAs, you now have to ensure that you are prepared for the exam. Your exam timetable will come after that. And of course, your exam timetable must be checked thoroughly. Among the things I mentioned, your personal data, the subjects, please remember, we are not perfect. So at any stage of the game, errors can be made. So ensure that you check. So having got your timetable, you are also going to be checking for clashes. And I sent out to the group last year and I said, please report all clashes to me. And students, would you believe me that it is on the morning of exam that you see some students come, oh, miss, I am just realizing I have a clash. Good thing we did put things in place and the clashes were resolved. Because please note that if you miss the exam, you don't get a chance to do the exam at any other time. You have a window in which to get to the exam room. And if you get there beyond that, you will not be considered for sitting the exam. So if you have a clash, it means that you are down to do both exams at the same time. And what we have to do in a case like that is to quarantine you. You cannot mix with the students who have done the paper that you have not done. We will decide which paper you do first. And after you have finished doing that paper, we have to ensure that we have to ensure that you do not come in contact with students who have done the paper before. We give you a 15 minutes break and then you are allowed to do the paper. All right, so that is going to mean that we have to have somebody there to invigilate. Yes, we have to have somebody there. Sorry, I seem to be the one to be admitting also. Yes, we have to have somebody there to invigilate you for both exams. So we need to know. All right, so check and report your clashes or report any errors to us. All right, and then you are going to be given information on the day of exam and about the exam in general. All right, so you'll be given that information. So I'm not going into details with that, but just to let you know, I don't recall Mr. Dogan mentioning it, that if right now you have any special circumstances that would impact your exam or you doing the best on your exam, please let Mr. Logan know of it. If it's a problem with your site, if it's a problem with you writing, whatever, if there is something right now in your life that is causing much strain on you and will impact your performance in the exam, please let Mr. Logan know of it. All right, it's important that you do so because there's what is called special circumstances. Yes, we do consider you, CXC does consider you. And of course, we will take that into consideration. There's a specific form to be filled out with all the details and to be sent to CXC, and you will be considered. So right now, if there are any special circumstances, please let him know of it. And then during the time of the exam, if there are any special circumstances, it could be that just before you do the exam, you lose a loved one or something dramatic happen. Don't just keep it to yourself. Let us know of it. All right. So that is it for the exam. As I said, we are going to be talking to you at length about that. So I won't use up the time this morning. But what I also want to talk to you about is subsidy. I know that many of you are on your way to give your parents that gift of 0% or just a small fee to be paid for your exam. Yes, many of you have worked hard for fourth form, and of course you are on your way to get the subsidy. Now, what is the subsidy? The subsidy is simply the government paying you for working hard, being consistent, and getting an average of 55% or over. Where does that 55% comes from? Well, midterm that you did, end of term exams, that is, mid and end of term exams that you did. Then there's the monthly test grades, classwork grades, assignment grades. All of these will be averaged. And if when they're averaged, they total 55, the government will pay, if you're not on path, that is, the government will pay for 4 subjects. What are the 4 subjects? Math, English, IT, and a science subject. So any science subject, be it chemistry, physics, agri-science, bio. Now, please note that you must be scoring the 55% average and over. All right, now if you're a PATH student, the ministry is paying for 8 subjects for you. And I say it's paying because I know that you have worked hard and you have got the 55% and over in all those subjects. So the 8 subjects that you are now doing, if you are a PATH student, the ministry will pay for the examination fee and the registration fee for all those 8 subjects. What a gift to give your parents. Now, also, if you do the business subjects, POA and POB, and you have an average of 80% or more, NCB will offer you the subsidy. NCB will pay for that subject. So I really hope you have been working hard. I know this is not new information to you. I know you would have known it before and you would have been preparing yourselves for it. If you do electrical technology also, and you have an average of 75% and over, JPS will offer you a subsidy. So you see, the help is there, and I really hope that you worked hard and that you are able to access all of these subsidies here that I have mentioned. All right, because money is hard to come by, and when a parent is able to pay less, then that I know is welcome for them. All right, now I am just going to be giving you, the fees for 2020-21, and then you can look at it. You and your parents can look and have an idea of how much extra it will cost you. All right, so let me go now. Everybody's required to pay a registration fee. That registration fee is what is used by the school. We use that for all the costs associated with the exams. All that we have to print and other expenses in preparation for the exam and also for the running of the exam. And that registration fee presently is $2,500. So that's $2,500. That's a registration fee. Then everybody's required to pay entry fee. And that entry fee, of course, is CXC entry fee. And that entry fee is $4,870. $4,870. Then for each subject, you pay a subject fee. And the subject fee is $3,880. That's a subject fee. Then you will be required, if you're doing the languages, you will be required to pay oral fees. And that is $1,750. And then if you are doing the homic subjects, you are required to pay a practical fee. Practical fee is $1,420. If you are doing PE, you are required to pay a practical fee, and that for PE is $3,040. Now, this is your math challenge, and I'm throwing it out to you. That is before the subsidies is applied. I am going to be asking you to place the answer in the chat. Let's say you have been given all 8 subjects. Yes, you are recommended for all 8 subjects. You are doing Spanish, you are doing foods, and you are doing PE. I want you to calculate the exam fee, the total exam fee. So let me go again. Registration fee, $2,500. Entry fee, $4,870. 8 subjects, each subject, $3,880. The Spanish, $1,750 for the oral. The practical, the foods practical, $1,420. And you are doing PE, $3,040 for the practical. Now, please calculate the total cost that you will be paying without subsidy and put it in the chat. Come, where the maths brain? All right, I see 37,250. $37,000. I wonder what you are missing. I wonder what you are missing. Those who are giving me 37. It's supposed to be more than that. It means that I'll have to be sending back the vouchers to you. You have underpaid. Am I getting any other? $44,620. I'm getting a $44,620. $41. Well, you see just how it's difficult to do this calculation. All right, if you got 44,620, you are correct. All right, because that is what it would have cost for your 8 subjects. Now you see just how important the subsidy is at this point, because depending on the number of subsidies that you have gotten, your parents would be paying much less than the 44,000 odd that I just mentioned. So that is why we are encouraging you. Boy, I can't even say encouraging you because the time is past here now. But that is why we encourage you to work hard in fourth form so that as many subsidies as possible would be applied to this $44,620 and your parents would pay less. Anyhow, can't cry over the spilt milk right now, but just to say, please ensure that you do your best, because having paid this money, we expect you to do well. In fact, let me rephrase that. I know you are going to be doing well. Despite the challenges, I know you are going to be putting your best foot forward. I know you're going to be studying hard, and I know you are going to be answering your questions well. And I know we are going to be getting good results from you in 2022. So let me just encourage you to continue on the path. Those of you who have not yet caught the vision, make sure you catch it beginning today. Make sure you seize the opportunity. Make sure you seize the day, and make sure that you do your best. Thank you very much. All right, I see a question here from Dejeuner. Ms. Grant?
Yes, miss?
Do I take questions for exams or
Yes,
do you?
miss. We're at the question and answer session now, so you can go right ahead. Yes, miss.
All right, so,
Yes, miss.
Okay. All right, say you are not doing a science subject, will they pay for any other besides the math, English, and IT? Who is not doing a science subject? I'm sure everybody's doing a science subject.
No, not everybody.
Oh, what? Some people did it before? Oh, but if you're not doing a science subject, they will pay for the math, the English, and the IT. Yes, they'll pay for the math, English, and the IT. Or any other question? Yes, please go ahead. You can open up your microphone and speak.
All right. Good morning, Miss. Good morning, teachers, Alumni Association, and fellow students. I've heard what's happening. I've heard the things that we're supposed to be doing going forward, but sadly, I am able to report from myself and a few other colleagues of mine that there have been an absence of many teachers. During the fourth form period, teachers have been absent. No classes for months, preferably. One particular teacher has not been for the entire term. She only came back in a matter of 2 weeks, and we got nothing done for the subject. Nothing done for the subject. I've got no information in my space except for English language, which I think should cover literature as well. And we started the TD. We have not finished that. No, nothing more since then. For math, she only gave us the introduction, nothing since then, no information with SBAs. Myself and a few other colleagues of mine, we are blank with this. We are hearing these fees. Just now, yeah. And personally, I'm saying, COVID-19 things are definitely harder on all families, may I say, all families. I have not been able to access all my grades as well. I saw someone just place that concern in the chat. So there are many things that are baffling the minds of students, parents, guardians. Many of us are left discombobulated. And I mean, we would really like some assurance, closure, and more concrete information going forward, because we have really been left blank during most of the fourth form period, for the entire fourth form period in relation to some subjects. So please.
Nice talking.
Sorry, my mic. Yes. Othniel, thank you very much for those points. And I hear your mother also echoing in the background.
Yes, Miss. Sorry for that.
I don't, Mrs. Ford Bryan, are you in the meet? All right. She's not in the meet, so let me see how best I can answer that question. Yes, I must say, we do recognize the challenges in that area. Fifth formers, Mr. Lamy and fifth formers, we do recognize the challenges in that area. We have put things in place, however, so that from a management perspective, we are going to be doing more monitoring this year. I know that this is cold comfort for you, Lamy, and for others, in that you would not have had the necessary grades due to absenteeism to be able to take advantage of the subsidies. But I cannot make any promise, but what I would advise you to do is from the start, right here, immediately, please ensure that you do your very best. Just in case we are saying, let us look at recent scores, please ensure that you do your very best. All right, but I promise you that from now on, we want you to report. May I ask, Lamy, was this reported? Did you ever report your challenges with teachers not attending classes?
Yes, Miss, to my form teacher.
To your form teacher.
I've placed it in the form group, WhatsApp group we've had. I have been removed for no particular reason. Just removed for a lengthy period now. I wasn't getting any information with school. It was a colleague of mine, my best friend, who had to send me this meeting link so I could be here right now. Thankful for him. I've written rather teachers in several emails addressing this concern and several others that I haven't mentioned here. So I have been voicing these concerns, sadly, with no response. So but we're going forward. Let's see how we can navigate this time.
All right. Remember, there's the guidance counselors. So I'm going to be asking, please let him be aware of the challenges. And I must say, from a teacher's point of view, I am really sorry that you have been experiencing this.
May
I
Mrs.
don't know. I
Fulbright
see
co-host come in, please. Thank you, please.
Mr. Logan.
Yes, I was trying to get Mr. Logan to make Mrs. Fulbright co-host because I see her hand is up.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Very good. Right. And a quick response to Lamy, because I am now hearing this, and the fourth formers / fifth formers would know that if they have a concern, they send me an email. I didn't receive an email from Lamy. I know we had that discussion at the beginning about you not getting your invites and not accessing your classes at the outset. And I think Mrs. Fulbright was aware of that too. But I was never aware of you having challenges with your teachers not coming to class, nor you being taken out of WhatsApp group. There were students who emailed me. Hold on a second. There were students who emailed me about missing classes and teachers missing classes and so on, and that was sent to the respective HOD, right? For that matter to be dealt with. Nothing from Mr. Lamy till just now. All right, Mrs. Ford Bryan, hold on a minute, Miss Beckford. Mrs. Ford Bryan she under adopt, and then I think she's made co-host, so I think she's going to speak now. Okay,
Yes.
Mrs. Yes, thank you.
Yes, I was hearing the concerns just now, Mrs. McDermott. I was actually in another meeting, but I can't resist but to make my comment where this is concerned. No, of course, based on what Miss Grant is saying, I too was unaware of these specifics. And at one point in time, I know that I was working with the fourth form year coordinator. But all right, so let us say it is very unfortunate, but I do hope that because it's in the past, that our approach for this year would be different. And what we have done at the administrative level as best as is possible is to ensure that our middle managers are not carrying as many sessions as possible, which means that greater supervision and monitoring of classes will take place. We know that with the pandemic, there are many persons who use this pandemic as a way or as a means of getting out of certain situations. I am not one who will condone with teachers collecting their salaries under false pretense. And I am not one who will condone the fact that we are going to use internet connectivity and the instability of internet or devices as an excuse. The Ministry of Education has said to us that if there are teachers who are having difficulties with internet connectivity or even with devices, they are supposed to travel to the school to access the resources that the school has. Now, Morant Bay High School, we don't have the perfect internet connectivity on the school grounds, but it is actually better than some communities. And so we encourage our teachers, and we have sent out that memo since this school year that those persons who need to access the school's resources more so on the no movement days, they are to give us their names so that they can have a pass to travel to the school so that they can access our resources. I know that there were teachers last year who had device issues, and we got support from past students, and so we were able to loan teachers devices. So these are the extent that we go to. So hearing that there is possibly a whole scale or a large scale issue concerning teachers and non-attendance to classes, that is not digesting very well. So I do apologize on behalf of Morant Bay High School. Administration is saying to you this morning that the situation will change. So we will be exercising greater supervision and monitoring of the classes because we have made leeway for that. So you should be seeing some improvement. So my apologies, students and parents. Back to you, Ms. Grant.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ford Bryan. Miss Beckford.
Good morning, everyone. I am Mrs. Beckford Coley, math teacher of Mr. Lamy. I'm not fond of the accusations he made, in which I'm not sure if it's me, but he needs to specify if it's, I am the math teacher who left just the curriculum in the classroom and no other classes. Because other teachers, other students from the class can say that we have indeed had classes. We have indeed had classes, and to the latter part, Mr. Lamy wasn't coming to any of the classes. So it should be specific in his address to where teachers only leave, or where the math teacher only leave a syllabus in the classroom. So please, I'm asking him to clarify if it's me or the previous teacher.
Please, Mrs. Beckford Coley, I would rather if we not get personal right here in the meeting.
Miss, but it was just sent out that Miss Beck, that the maths teacher only leave a curriculum in the class.
Okay,
Miss,
I'm seeing where it says there it's not you, but we really wouldn't want to have the name calling on this platform here. What I would want to happen, Mr. Lamy, I did mention the guidance counselor.
yes,
So
miss.
can I ask, please, that you please speak with the guidance counselors? Please speak
Will
with
do.
Mr. Logan, okay?
Will do.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. McDermott. Are there any other questions? We are at the question and answer section very quickly.
Morning, Miss, and everyone. Miss Rhyme speaking. Miss, I have a question, Miss, about the payment that the government is going to pay for the subjects that we have done if we pass the 55% mark and over, Miss. Miss, is it going to be paid for using our summer grade, Miss?
I didn't hear the last part of your question. If it be paid for using what?
Miss, the summer grade, Miss. Summer report, the grades.
Oh, your end of year results.
Yes, Miss.
Or as I mentioned, it's going to be your end of year, your mid-year, or in mid-year you did tests, your classwork grades, as well as your assignment. So if you have been working consistently and getting grades over 55, that should be all right for you.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. McDermott. Any other questions?
Yes, Miss. Good morning, Miss. For the 60 hours of community service, Miss, due to COVID, we were supposed to do a part of it in third form and the next part in fourth form, and it was said that if it was not completed, we won't be able to graduate. Due to COVID, is that still in place?
Okay, that is that's on pause for now because we understand those challenges. I heard Miss Johnson addressing the third form parent meeting on Wednesday evening because she's introducing them to it, and she did mention Mr. Logan is here to support me on that's on pause for now, considering the COVID-19 situation. So I think you'll get further advice on that going forward. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Any other questions? Performers?
Good morning, Miss Grant. How are you?
Good morning, Miss Duncan. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm trying.
I sent a message in the chat asking if EDPM is IT subject as well that the government pay for, but I did not get a response.
Mrs. McDermott, I don't think so. I think it's IT. Mrs. McDermott?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, could you answer, please? Thank you.
Information technology.
She's asking if EDPM is paid for the government as information technology.
No, information technology.
Thanks much.
All right.
I've seen a question here, Miss Grant, in the chat. It says for
yes,
the subject.
I'm looking. Right.
Yes,
Yes, Miss. I'm looking at it too. And then another one came up and it just went. I think Miss Edwards is asking about for the students who are doing labs and so on.
Yes.
All right. You want to answer, Mrs. Mack?
Okay. The teachers will instruct you. As I said, we were really hoping that we would be face-to-face, and we're looking forward to it for September. But there are some aspects of the SBA that will need to be done face-to-face. So as we go along, you will hear further. I know that, for example, for the foods and so forth that will require the practicals, I know that you will be asked to complete your time plan, to do the necessary preparation so that when we are able to come face-to-face, you will be able to do the practicals then. So your teachers will give you specific instruction. As for the labs and so on, I know they are going to be giving you that instruction as to what you can do while you're at home now. And of course, when we are able to be out face to face.
All right. Okay, thank you very
All
much.
right, now on the matter of the vaccination, we have to listen to what the Ministry of Health says, and of course, what our Minister of Education and also the Prime Minister. It is not left up to the school to decide. So we will have to go based on the protocols that is dictated by the ministry, by the government. But so far, I'm sure you have been hearing that you should get yourself vaccinated. So please go by the protocol of the ministry with regards to that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. McDermott. And just to reassure you, performers, you will be able to do your labs and all those practical subjects that require you to be face-to-face. So don't worry about it, right? Just go on to your virtual classes, do what you're doing now online, because just like the performers before you, where arrangements were made at the time when the COVID-19 is manageable for them to go face-to-face and so on. If that doesn't work out, other arrangements will be made. So don't sweat it. Don't get worried about it. Make sure you go online for your classes for now and participate, submit your assignments, and do what you need to do virtually, because whatever needs to be done face-to-face will be done when the atmosphere allows for it. Miss Williams, with regards to repeaters, those persons already know themselves. Those persons were contacted already. All right, so we had a minimum number of persons who would allow that opportunity. So those persons know themselves. I don't want to call the names here. All right.
Miss Grant?
Yes, Mrs. McDermott.
Please remind students that they need to be registered for today.
Yes.
So please instruct them where they need to go so that it can be done.
You need to go to your Google Class form room. Your teachers would have posted the registration form, right? So you need to, I'm seeing in my Google Classroom email a number of persons registering. So those of you who have not done so, please do so now. All right. I'm going. Pay school fee, credit or debit card, Mrs. McDermott, because I know they have a payment online policy. Is now Mr. Robinson's asking whether or not the school fee can only be paid by credit or debit card.
No.
Okay.
It can be done online.
Okay.
I'm going to be asking that instruction be given to you, Ms. Grant, so that you can make it available to the students.
I did make it available to them, the two options and so on, but I think both of them require a card. So I guess that is what he's asking about. If there is any arrangement, but the school have never taken cash. Or I know that some schools are going to make deposits at the bank with vouchers.
Vouchers are still available for those who would want to pay by cash.
Okay, so vouchers are still available, Rajay? So you could go by the school or your parent go by the school to get a voucher to do that. All right.
May I say something, if I may?
Hold on a second, please. Hold on a second. Let me go through the chat a little quick. Lola Brown, you know that uniform. Lola, you're supposed to have your uniform, Lola. If we do a subject outside of school and it is on our timetable, is it, well, Miss Wilson, you do the subjects that you are given to do at school right now. So all of those subjects we give you to do remain on your timetable and you are expected to attend those classes. Okay, Miss Wilson? Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, the person who wanted to speak, go ahead.
Fort Brian here. I just wanted to make a comment on the payment of fees.
Oh, miss, you were the one coming in. Sorry.
Yes. No
All right.
problem.
And because when the chat come in and the questions come, it tend to you tend to miss. I wanted to
Yes,
answer from the
I
chat
know, I
first.
understand.
Yes.
No
Okay.
problem, my dear. What
Okay.
I just want to say to parents and students is that we have been partnering with the banks, with NCB in particular, and what they don't want, they really don't want the inconvenience of the parents having to stand in the long lines at the bank, and so the vouchers are really last resort. So we are now emphasizing the payment on the school grounds using the point of sale, which is the card, or the online platform wherein you can make the payment through the school's website. Now, there is a document that is out explaining exactly how to go about these options. So we will send that document just in the event that you don't readily have that, Miss Grant, and but that has been circulating so that you can send it out in your WhatsApp groups to our parents. Parents, please remember, if you're listening, and students, say to your parents, it's really last resort for the vouchers. Given the COVID-19 pandemic and what is happening, we are reducing the gathering as best as is possible. You get through easily on the school compound using our point of sale, swipe the card, get your receipt, move on with your lives, rather than standing in Morants Bay in the lengthy lines waiting to be attended to. So we want to emphasize safety and security. So the best way possible to keep safe, we are encouraging you to do that. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Miss. And yes, we have that information. It was passed on to the form teachers. And I guess that is why we're getting that question from Mr. Robinson, if we can only use debit or credit card. So Mr. Robinson, you hear the answer. So maybe you could try have someone assist you to pay using either credit or debit card. Okay, any other questions, performers?
Yes, Miss. Good morning, everyone. Well,
Good morning,
afternoon
Kofi
now.
Annette.
Miss, regarding to the ID, our school's ID has been expired since last year, 2020, and I am getting to know that we need it for CXC. So, is there any set dates that we need to come in, or we're going to use a personal ID like the passport?
No. Miss Derival and everybody else, performers, arrangements will be made. We're aware of that. It was done last year for the other performers that you're and those of you do remember the post being made in your WhatsApp group as well for the students doing the ADMATs to go and take the ID pictures. So you will get your chance to do that. The arrangements will be made and the date will be given to you, provided to you by the administration, and you'll get the time and place, how you go in number by number and so on and get it done. So that will be done. Okay, so you will get your ID to be used for
Okay.
your external exams. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetie.
Ms. Grant, are you still with us? I'm not hearing.
Okay, I was asking any other
Okay.
questions? Okay,
Oh,
yes. Any other questions? Any final comment? Oh, I see one coming in the chat now. Any other Jelani Scott. All right. Well, Mr. Robinson, we encourage you to pay the school fee. It is needed to help with providing you with the resources that you need for school. So we encourage you to support Morant Bay High School, Carpe Diem, Green and White, and pay your school fee. Okay?
Ms. Grant, I think this person is mixing up the school fee with the parental contribution.
Okay.
All right, so it's a parental contribution. We appeal to the parents and we ask of them to pay this to assist us in providing the necessary things for the school. That we appeal to you and we ask you to assist us. What the school fee is to be paid. It's a parental contribution that is optional if what I see this time here what time is finishing because I have work. May I
Jelani Scott.
May I please remind Jelani that school starts officially
on
the
Monday.
6th of September.
Yes.
So consider that you are at school.
Right.
Well, it means that you have to go resign your job.
Yes.
Because it's no school time.
Okay. All right. Now for Miss Taylor, yes, mock exams. It was done in some form last term for the fifth formers last year, and I guess it will be done again, and it is usually done closer to exam time. All right, so you'll get that information going forward. Book list for fifth formers, usually it's the same books that you'd have used at fourth form that you continue to use at fifth form. So there is no book list per se. Mr. Sadler, I'm getting that information for you. All right, Mrs. McDermott?
Yes, Ms. Grant.
Okay. Any final comments? Because it's after 12 o'clock now.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to leave this quote with the students. Oh, sorry about that. Yes, I just want to leave this quote with the students. It's taken from the book Education by Ellen G. White, and it says, higher than the highest human thought can reach is God's ideal for his children. I repeat, higher than the highest human thought can reach is God's ideal for his children. In other words, it is saying, higher than your highest thought or your highest expectation for yourself is God's ideal for you. I just want to encourage each and every one of us to remember to put God in our planning, put God in every aspect of our lives. He's the one who's going to keep us safe. He's the one who's going to help you to be successful students. And I just want to ask that you remember him, not just in times of difficulties, but remember he is there for you. He's a present help in time of trouble. He's a present help all the time. Remember, put your plans to him, ask him to lead, ask him to direct, and you will be a success. I wish for you all the success, all the best. We have faith in you that you are going to be doing well, not just academically, but as Mr. Logan mentioned, the entire being. And we just want to wish for you all the best for this year and onwards.
Thank you very much, Mrs. McDermott. Thank you very much. Right, as we said earlier, we're working closely with Mrs. McDermott throughout this academic year. Form teachers, so my form teachers are faithful. They're still here. Any comments, anything you want to say before we go? Ms. Archer, Mrs. Hyman, Mr. Bravo, Mrs. D. Noble, Ms. Watson, Ms. Simon, any comments? All right, guidance. All right. Mr. Logan. All right. Mrs. Ford Bryan, any last words?
Let us continue to seize all opportunity. Yesterday is gone, last year is gone. We now have a new slate, a new beginning. Let us see how best we can make the best use of this year. We are the Carpe Diem Nation, so we will make it happen. The partnership is we work with you, you work with us. It is a win-win situation. Enjoy the new school year.
Okay. Just trying to check to see if I'm seeing any more. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ford Brown. If you notice, fifth formers, Mr. Logan, Guidance Department, has a Google form right there in the chat. Please ensure that you fill it out. The information is pertinent and it's needed. So please ensure that you do so. Again, thank you very much for being with us. I looked at one point and we have 100 persons in the Zoom. And then at one point I saw about 95 on YouTube. So I think we were well represented today. At 3 o'clock, we should be having the virtual parent consultation. We're looking forward to seeing your parents at that time. Please remind them to be at the meeting. Mr. Logan will send me that link, which we will pass on to you for your parents. We thank you again for being
Same
with us.
link, same
Same
link.
link. Okay, right. So tell your parents it's the same link, same YouTube link, same Zoom link. All right. So we thank you for being with us this morning. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your good behavior. Thank you for your questions and your participation. And remember, you carpe diem, and that we're also overcomers and we're going to have an awesome year. And we're going to ensure that everybody, all our students, achieve their full potential and do their best. And as usual, remember to reach out to your form teachers, right? And you want to reach out to me, you all know that email address, and we keep the conversation open and we keep it going. And remember, you're never alone and no one is left behind. Thank you very much, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon. It's now after 12. All right. Thank you very much for coming. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss.
You're all welcome. Yes. Okay.